Coach, would you kick it off with an opening statement?
Yep, sure. Again, here we are. Now we're not in Week 12, right? Last game of the year. This is +1 ball. We're certainly excited and honestly have a lot of gratitude. Something we talked a lot about in Thanksgiving week last week, and being able to prepare in such a way that we get the opportunity to represent the Sun Belt West, to represent this great university, our fan base, and one more game to play in the Sun Belt Championship. Could be more proud of our guys, our program, our staff, the whole organization, to fight through what we've been through in a 2-year span to get it back to this point. We understand the challenges that lie ahead well. On a Friday night against a JMU football team that's tremendous in every phase of their organization. And special teams, offense, defense, Coach Chesney's done a fine job building their roster, and certainly why they're ranked and in the position they are in. So excited about the challenge. There's several factors and distractions and things involved in this that make it fun, and cold weather, a short week. Thank you guys, Sunbelt, for the short week. Along with us traveling up there. So exciting times, good problems to have, and we're excited about what's to come in preparation. So with that, I'll take questions. Thanks.
We'll open up now for questions. We'll start off with Mike Barber.
Morning, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mike.
I'm curious, and I don't know where you are in studying JMU, but they opened the year kind of rotating quarterbacks. Then they settled in, and that really seems to have gotten their offense in gear. The kid who's playing was coming off injury. That was part of all that. But I'm curious what you've seen from the evolution of the quarterback and how that shaped their offense.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a key piece to every program, and certainly on offense at all levels, but especially in college football and the NFL. And he's playing at a very high level. It seems as if as we've played throughout this season, the guys who can fix things with their feet, who are mobile and can throw on the run and fix problems, that way are very difficult to game plan for, and that's what you see out of him. He's very accurate. He's got fast hands, which is something I notice a lot out of quarterbacks on tape, of how he can get it out in a hurry, and he's accurate, and he doesn't turn the football over. And so his mobility, of course, brings a whole other set of problems. You add that with great schemes and the way they scheme you and put you in formations and lock you into things. It's why they've had the success they've had. So it's keeping us up at night. It's a tremendous challenge for us to plan for, and he's playing at an extremely high level, and that's why.
Having a conference championship game on campus sites is a really cool setting and brings a lot of energy and excitement. Less so for the visiting team, though. What are your thoughts on playing this game, at JMU as opposed to a neutral site?
Well, I've never been there. I've always heard great things about it, dating back to a guy named Phil Ratliff and Mickey Matthews and all those times. He was my high school coach. It's no longer with us, but his son is on our staff now, Dylan Ratliff. And Dylan spent a few years there and being there and remembers it well, and I've always heard great things about the place. It's what's great and pure about college football. It's a great venue. They've had a storied tradition, much like Troy's, and I'm excited for us to be able to experience that. We don't have cold weather gear, so we've had to make some plans to make sure we have it, for our guys not to have that as an excuse. And I think it's what's cool about NFL playoffs and college playoff games and what's happening in the CFP and 12 teams and on sites. It's our version of it in Group of Five. We're happy, and like I said, there's a lot of gratitude that goes into being able to play a +1 game like this. We worked hard for.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. See you Friday.
Thank you.
Let's go to Craig Stevenson.
Hey, Coach. I know it's not over yet, but you guys have made a pretty good turnaround from 4 wins to 8 this year. Talk about that building process a little bit, and is it just been an incremental thing, or did you see at one point that, hey, we got a chance to be really good?
It's been an incremental thing, if I'm being honest. I think there has been a constant message that Sam is sick of hearing, but I promised him I would continue to say it. All that mattered has been a focus to improve and get better. And we've had a bumpier road to better. We have lost our starting quarterback in year 2. We have lost both our starting offensive tackles. We have lost a starting running back. Our injuries are low, but where they have happened has been in one side of the ball and in key positions, and it's made this harder. welcome to life. Like, we found a way. Nobody wants to hear it. Nobody cares about the injuries, but and all these things that have happened, and nobody cares what it looks like on it. We found a way just to improve, do good jobs for our players, be resilient, handle adversity. Like, I'm proud of our guys. We've not rolled the ball out and found a way to win by 2 scores and done all these things. Look at our schedule and look at the close games we've won. I'm more proud of that. There's some years you got to be more proud of going 8-4 and flipping this thing the way we have in year 2. This is hard, and then I'm not complimenting myself. I'm complimenting our players and our staff. This has not been easy to take over a program that won back-to-back Sun Belt titles and get it to this position after a year 2 when what we took over and where it was. It's a testament to a lot of people, a lot of support, a lot of fan base that grew upset at me early, but also trusted enough to say, wait a second, maybe these guys know what they're doing, and the players the same. I could go on and on for 30 minutes. I won't bore you. But it deserves some time. Like, this is a hard job by everybody and by our players, and for us to have won the way we've had to win to represent the western side of this conference and be in the conference championship game deserves a tip of the hat to this program, our players and staff that have done it, and I'm very proud of them. I'm proud to be a part of them. I'm proud that we've had to get it out the mud and do it the Troy way and do this way. And but our task is monumental this week, and we're very aware of it, and it's going to take our best effort to represent us the right way.
I want to ask you about your defensive front. Obviously, got all those veteran defensive tackles, but a guy like Donnie Smith seems like he's been a real difference maker this year. Just talking about him and the defensive front as a whole, what you're looking for out of them.
Yeah, it's been, I think that's been our difference as we've went and had great success at times, has been generating pass rush and putting guys like Donnie Smith in a position to do what he does best, which is rush the passer and put stress on the edges of protections. And Donnie's done that very well. He's done that better than anybody in our conference, I believe, in leading in sacks and creating pressures, and it's something that'll be pivotal in this game. But a great junior college prospect that we developed and got here, and he's come into his own, has become a great player, and he's an even better human being, and he can catch a pass and convert a pump fake as well. So pretty cool story for him and others, but we've put him in really good positions, and he's starting to let talent and genetics take over as well.
One last guy I wanted to ask you about, Evan Crenshaw. Obviously got a lot of national accolades and conference accolades probably coming his way. People don't talk about the punter a whole lot, but how important has he been to what you guys do?
I mean, he's been a key. He's won us games. I'm putting this on Adam and Sam if he doesn't win the Ray Guy. He's the best punter in the country. There's too many stats that say so. What he has done in pressure situations, how he's pinned the ball inside the 20 and the 10, the amount of times he has. He is a true weapon. He's humble. He's tough. He can handle me getting after him a little bit. Got a great way about him. I just think he's performed in big moments too many times this year, and he's won us football games, to be quite honest with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go over to Sarah.
Hey, Coach, congratulations. I just want to talk about, you've talked about the process to get here. And so when you had those 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and you were like, okay, man, like this is it. Like now we're going to the Sun Belt. What was going through your mind? And just talk to me about that, how that felt afterwards. Because last year, obviously winning 4 games and just turning this program away that you have, the team buying in, the community buying in to get to where you are right now. Just what was going through your mind after that?
I wish I could tell you it was there are demons about how you have to do this job and how you have to think and build it during the season. I hope I get my time later to be able to reflect properly, but my first and only thoughts were towards our staff and players, just seeing that joy, looking up in the stands and knowing that 40 wives and kids got on an extra bus and rode this thing out to Hattiesburg, and look up in the stands and see all those families and my wife and kids and people wanting to jump the walls. After that, I'm thinking, all right, how do we have to get back? What do we have to do? What film are we watching on the way home to prepare for JMU? What's our schedule? When are they flying us? What do we got to be doing? So your mind gets occupied about the next thing, so you don't have really much time to enjoy it much as you do just to stay to the process, don't become emotional about it, and move forward to the next task. That's an honest answer.
Yeah. I mean, it's a Friday game, so it's a really quick turnaround. It's a lot of logistics. And so, focusing on just like the practice side, what are some things that you saw from the game that you really wanted to build on? I mean, I think Rara had his best game that he's had really with you guys all season, and finding those offensive weapons is important for you guys right now. So, talk to me about some of those things that you want to build on during practice this week outside of the logistics of the cold weather gear, the traveling there, getting your fans there, everything else on top of that.
Thanks for reminding me. No, it's that's the key piece is like, what do we need to do in game plan to give our guys the best chance at having success, and then not doing so much that you can't get it all in a short week. Finding our defense played faster, played better in coverage, did things that it takes to win a championship game. We've got to repeat that against a great offense. And then finding out what is enough and not too much in practice, because you really have a short week, so you're a day less in what you can do fast and how you manage guys' loads during the week to make sure that they're fresh enough to go play on Friday night. So that's the task, having enough to attack but not doing too much, and then game planning / practice planning in a way that your guys are still refreshed and ready to go.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Coach. Good
Thank
luck.
you, Sarah.
Coach Parker, having Goose back, how important has that been, obviously, in this stretch run for you guys, and then also going into the championship game on Friday? What does he do for your team at the quarterback position and from a leadership perspective as well?
Yeah, I think, he's been critical in leadership even when he was injured, but certainly presence in playing and being out there with him in a huddle and moving throughout practice is a different type of leadership. So I think you've seen a step taken by him and certainly our team when he's been back out there. And that's not to say that Tucker's presence hasn't also been wonderful. They both have a great relationship. They're both prepared the same way and are in a good moment to know that they're both going to need to play at times. But Goose, it's been great to have him back. He was voted almost, unanimously, I should say, a team captain. The guys love and appreciate and respect who he is. When you have those people out there on the field, people respond. So I think that's what we're seeing. He's taken steps each week because he hadn't played for 2 months, and he'll have to take a big one this Friday night.
And then following up to that, obviously, as you talk about the story of your season, you're not here without the performance of Tucker Kilcrease and obviously the 5-game winning streak with him at starting quarterback for you guys. What's the appreciation for him in the locker room, and obviously maybe that talk again on that relationship between him and Goose, and maybe Goose's leadership from the sideline when Tucker was in the game for you?
Well, he's been completely it's been a complete turnaround for him and how he's handled himself in adversity while playing and then finding success through that. I think he's just built different now. He has the respect of our locker room like Goose and like many of our good leaders, and especially our senior leaders, and he has time left. I think the way he's carried himself even after he got dinged up a little bit and Goose has come back on the field, he just continues to prepare, be a great teammate, serve Goose and how he prepares, and bring great energy. And what he did through this season to help us win games, play winning football at the position, and do what he did in countless games in the middle of our year. We're not sitting here. I'm not on this call if we don't get that through Tucker Kilcrease's play. And I know our staff feels that way, the players feel that way, and I've got that just amount of respect for him and can't say enough great things about who he's been for us.
Let's go over to Adam.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you a question specifically about your opponent, James Madison. Obviously a team you haven't played, but I'm sure a team you've studied, and you're going to be studying a lot more, especially this week in your preparations. Their second half defense seems to be almost a different type of animal from maybe what it is at the beginning of a game, and it's like they settle in. And I think I went and did a count. I think since the Louisville game, I think they've only given up 3 second half touchdowns. Is there anything you're going to have to do to prepare yourself to maybe, obviously teams make adjustments on the fly during games, but something that you guys are going to have to do to maybe prepare for a defense that almost ticks it up another level in the second half of games this season?
Well, they're a top 10 defense in the country, and the reason is to what you speak of. And great defenses, you may get them once on something, but great defenses you don't get twice, and that's what you see on tape in watching them. They're not going to repeat a mistake. They're not going to let you get them on the same play again. They close that up and make you call something else. They do a really good job even when they get hit a little bit of getting the ball down, playing the next play. They've got answers for all of it. They're wonderfully good. It'll take our best and finding ways to attack them to be in this football game. And I didn't know the exact stats of what you just spit out in the second half, but it makes sense as to why they've won by the margins they've won.
Let's go over to Josh.
Coach, you just, I know, we'll have to spit out all like the injuries, the beginning of the year through now, and just everything that the team has been able to overcome all that adversity. Just talk about how proud you are of this team, and just how, I don't know, if we would have told you at the beginning of the year that you would have lost both starting tackles, or starting tailback, things like that, just where you think you would be here, how would you feel?
Well, I alluded to it some, but I will say again, the reason I haven't ever brought that up the entire season, and I know it comes up now, but the reason I haven't brought it up is because, one, I don't ever think it gets taken the right way by a fan base or people as you say those things. So I save them for where it is and where it needs to stay. But I think that when you say those things and it's true, I think they're at least when you offer up criticism, we've struggled at times on offense. The number one primary reason for that is because of that. There has been our 2 offensive tackles that we expected to play at a high level are gone. Those are critical positions on your O-line, 2 edges of your offense. And a starting running back and, of course, our starting quarterback, as I'd mentioned. I think that finding ways to win through that type of adversity and those type of matchups and problems is a testament to a bunch of players and staff that have just found ways. I said to them at the beginning of the year, and I believe it now, we have to handle hard and be connected better than anybody we play for us to have a chance to win the way Troy has to win this year. And I think great coaching and great playing happens when you find ways to put your football team in positions to win games regardless of what it looks like. I tell a story to our staff all the time. I'm a 6th grade boys basketball coach. I'm fresh out of the University of Kentucky. Me and Candy just got married, and I am coaching 6th grade boys basketball, and we play a team that's better than us. And I'll never forget a veteran coach told me, it is your job to put them in a position to find a way to win. So instead of playing man-to-man and being stubborn like I wanted to, we played a box and 1 and a triangle and 2 and found a way to keep ourselves in that game. And I think that is great coaching, great playing, and great connection to players. Find a way to put us in a position to know this is how we have to play this game to win it. Don't think about any other results. Have a process for how you're going to practice throughout the week that creates belief and execution, and go do it. And to the credit of this staff and our players, we have found ways to make this work in year 2 to get that done, and it's put us in a chance to play for a conference championship. And I just cannot be more proud of that effort and how we've had to do it.
Let's jump over to Billy.
Hi, Coach. A lot has, been talked about JMU and their defense, but, you guys are the number 26 red zone defense in the country with players like, Jordan Stringer, Devin Lafayette. Just talk a little bit about what goes into that defensive mentality where you guys are so stingy inside the red zone.
Well, I think we've started to develop, and I think it's silly that you almost say out loud you've played a whole year. We're still getting better. This doesn't stop. We need to get better this week, and our defense has gotten better throughout the year, and we've stubbed our toe in things at times, as all do, but we've gotten better throughout the year, and I think just putting a great emphasis in the way we practice at times or the way we game plan as well, both get married to making sure that we do a great job of keeping the ball out of the end zone and creating field goal attempts is huge. And situational game planning and the way we practice has attributed to it. I think both are the great cause of it. And I think it's certainly going to be huge in this game. They're going to gain yards. It's what happens when you get in that box from the 25-yard line down of where a big piece of the game is won or lost. So we spend time on it through our hours late at night in game planning. We spend time on it at the practice and in practicing, so we are really good in situational football.
Let's go over to David.
All right, Coach, James Madison does a lot of things well. What's the thing that has most impressed you about them? To be honest with you, it'd be where to start and stop. I got a tremendous amount of respect
for Coach Chesney and his staff. First off, they're schematically, they're great in all three phases. Defensively, they're very attacking. They're not going to let you be comfortable at all. They have answers for everything they need to have, and they've got great personnel. Offensively, it's the same thing. They show formations well. They play with tempo. They're mobile at quarterback. Andy can make great throws. They can attack you at running back and run vertically and laterally, and he runs very hard. O-line plays hard. Wideouts can make plays across the board. It goes on and on. The list is long, hence the reason the sleep is less.